It all started the night I discovered Emily's messages. Hidden conversations, whispered promises, and a familiarity in her words that didn't belong to me. At first I couldn't believe it. Emily, my wife of 5 years, someone I trusted with my heart, my life, my home, was betraying me. I confronted her gently, hoping for honesty. "Emily, what is this?" I asked, holding my phone steady, showing her the messages. She froze. Her eyes darted away, and a nervous laugh escaped her lips. "It's nothing. You're overreacting," she said. But I could see the truth in the way her hands trembled. I should have walked away that night, but I didn't. I wanted answers. She finally admitted it. A brief, careless affair, she insisted, didn't mean anything. I wanted to hate her, to yell, to throw everything down in anger. But I knew this wasn't just about anger, it was about truth. The next day I was blindsided again. Emily's parents called, their voices laced with suspicion and accusation. "How could you treat our daughter this way?" her father demanded. "You must have done something to drive her away. She is perfect, and yet you..." I was stunned. Their perfect daughter had cheated, and yet they were blaming me. I took a deep breath, forcing calm where my mind screamed. "I didn't do anything wrong," I said evenly. "I respected her, loved her, trusted her. You might want to look closer at her choices." That didn't satisfy them. They continued with their lectures, their assumptions, their praise for Emily's so-called perfection. But I had seen the truth, and I wasn't afraid to reveal it. A week later, at a small family gathering meant to resolve misunderstandings, I calmly presented the facts. I shared the messages, the timeline, and the patterns of deceit. I didn't shout. I didn't accuse. I simply laid out the evidence. The room went silent. Emily's parents stared at me, shock and disbelief etched on their faces. The perfect image they had of their daughter shattered, replaced by an uncomfortable, undeniable reality. Emily's carefully curated mask of innocence and virtue was gone, and there was no pretending anymore. Emily tried to interject, to twist the narrative, but I stayed firm, my voice steady, my eyes unwavering. "This isn't about blame," I said. "It's about honesty. You taught her to hide her mistakes, to appear flawless. But truth cannot be hidden forever." The tension in the room was unbearable. Emily's parents, once so confident in their perfect daughter, now looked uncertain, searching for explanations that didn't exist. Emily herself was pale, fidgeting with the edge of her sleeve, trying to compose a defense that I wasn't going to let stand. I continued calmly. "You see, perfection isn't about appearances or charm. It's about integrity, honesty, and accountability. And when someone chooses to betray trust repeatedly, no amount of charm or smile can cover it up." Her father's jaw tightened. "You're making this sound worse than it is," he said. "She made a mistake, a small one. We all..." I interrupted, voice still even. "A mistake is admitting it and taking responsibility. Repeating it, lying about it, hiding it, and blaming others, that is not a mistake. That is a choice." And the choice was hers. Emily's mother, usually so composed, looked stricken. Her hand trembled slightly as she reached for her purse, as if to flee the reality she had been shielding from. But there was nowhere to go. The truth was sitting right there, undeniable and irrefutable. I noticed Emily trying to speak, her voice shaky. "You're exaggerating. It's not like that." I shook my head gently. "I'm not exaggerating. The facts are here, visible to everyone. Your daughter has been living a double life, deceiving you, me, and our relationship. This isn't perception. This isn't opinion. This is reality." For the first time, Emily seemed to grasp the seriousness of the situation. Her confident smirk, the one that had carried her through countless lies, was gone. I could see vulnerability, the fear of losing control. Her parents sat in silence for several moments, processing everything. Their perfect daughter, the one they had praised endlessly, the one they had defended unconditionally, was not what they thought. And the uncomfortable truth was that no amount of explanation could undo her actions. I paused, letting the silence settle, allowing them to face the reality they had avoided. I didn't need to push further. The weight of evidence, coupled with the undeniable consequences of Emily's actions, had already spoken louder than any words I could utter. Finally, I concluded. This is not about shame or punishment. It's about understanding the choices people make and accepting responsibility for them. Your daughter will have to do the same, and so will you as parents, in recognizing what's real instead of clinging to an illusion of perfection. The room remained tense, but something had shifted. The illusion had crumbled and reality, harsh as it was, had taken its place. After that evening, Emily's demeanor changed completely. The confident, untouchable woman I had married was gone, replaced by someone quieter, hesitant, and painfully aware of the consequences of her actions. She no longer tried to manipulate or charm her way out of reality. She was confronted with the truth, and for the first time it weighed on her heavily. In the days that followed, her parents approached me separately. Her father, still trying to maintain control, admitted quietly, We didn't see it coming. We thought she was different." I looked at him steadily. Different? Maybe. But perfection isn't about appearances or charm. It's about responsibility. Emily's choices have consequences, and you need to acknowledge them, as much as she does. Her mother, tearful and remorseful, whispered, "We wanted to believe in the image we built, in the perfect daughter. We never imagined." I nodded gently. Belief doesn't change reality. Hiding behind illusions only prolongs the pain when truth inevitably comes out. She has to face her actions. You have to face the reality of who she really is, not who you imagined her to be. Emily tried to approach me later that week, desperate to regain control, to mend her image in my eyes. She said, "I can explain everything. Please just listen." I listened calmly, letting her words flow without interruption. But my expression never softened, and my stance never wavered. She realized immediately that manipulation no longer worked. "Emily," I said finally, "it's not about explanations. It's about accountability. You've made choices. You have to live with them. That's the only truth that matters." The dynamic between us shifted entirely. Where once she held power through lies and charm, I now held it through clarity and resolve. She understood that I would not be drawn into her games, that the truth had power far greater than any accusation or excuse she could offer. Weeks passed, and Emily's attempts to maintain control faded. Her parents, now more observant, began treating her with a different lens, no longer blind praise but cautious realism. She could no longer hide behind perfection or charm. Every word, every action was scrutinized by the reality she had created through deceit. Eventually, I realized that exposing the truth wasn't about revenge. It was about establishing reality in a house built on illusions. Emily's parents had to see their daughter clearly. She had to see herself clearly. And I finally could reclaim the respect, honesty, and integrity that had been absent for so long. By confronting the lies, revealing the truth, and standing firm, I restored balance. The perfect daughter was no longer a facade, the household no longer a theater, and I no longer lived in the shadow of deception. Truth had been revealed, lessons had been learned, and the consequences were undeniable. For Emily, for her parents, and for our marriage.